Once again, Ishida has built up the anticipation of Kaneki being reborn into something completely different to the extremely high level that it already is. Once again, he is molding it and building it, and just the anticipation for this new Kaneki, the anticipation for the rebirth is literally through the roof. Waiting week by week for this one specific event is literally killing me. Like, I am slowly fading away right now, just waiting for these chapters, and each week we get a chapter, I'm like straight onto it. I'm like, come on, show us a little bit more, let's get a little bit further, and we are getting a little bit further. For the most part, this chapter was well needed because this will help people understand the reality of Rize and Kaneki at the moment, and to help us transcend into Kaneki's rebirth, basically. That's kind of what I'm going to call it at this point. For the most part, the chapter itself is pretty simplistic. It kind of plays on Kaneki's emotions as well as Rize's emotions, as well as the history that the two share with one another. We kind of go through this up and down period of Kaneki and what he truly wanted and what he was trying to achieve, and saying that he wanted to be wanted by someone else. He wanted to be needed, and at certain points in this time frame he was extremely happy to be needed. For example, by Toka. For the most part, he valued this. As much as he hated Rize for obviously putting him through this torturous life, he also feels very thankful towards her. He actually doesn't harbor any ill feelings towards her whatsoever, because he has managed to feel these emotions for certain people and have these incredibly good times because of the low times that's been built around him. For the most part, I really enjoyed this very well needed Rize and Kaneki reunion, this very well back and forth debate or conversation between basically Kaneki and himself. This was really something to open up Kaneki, open up his eyes, because this really put in perspective his sins. It put in perspective everything that he has done up to this point has been very selfish of himself, and he's turned a blind eye to everything that he has basically done to this point. He turned away from the concept that he truly wanted to more harbor in his own personal emotion, to compromise for his morals. He didn't want to go above and beyond. He didn't want to do this for those results. If anything, he was a retaliation type of person. I feel justified to kill this person because that person hurt the person I like, right? And his morals kind of become obscure then. But even so, this in itself is wrong, and Rize points this out heavily, and he slowly starts to understand what he's been doing this whole time has been this back and forth cycle, this black and white monotone of morals to Kaneki. That's what he has been. You know, he's tried to justify the evil, the sins he has done to a certain degree, which does not help him, which goes completely against his original moral. Now that someone has pointed out the obvious disruption and the discrepancies towards Kaneki's mentality and his own morals, and turning a blind eye to certain events, it all comes crumbling down. And Kaneki himself right now starts to realize what he truly is. So far, you can see throughout the conversation that Kaneki slowly starts to understand himself, to understand what he has to do and what he could potentially be capable of. For the most part, this puts a very weird direction for Kaneki right now, because literally at this point, anything is possible. Kaneki has basically shredded Rize. He has left everything behind to confront his sins, to confront everything that he has done wrong, to confront the evil that he has turned a blind eye to throughout his life. He is about to confront everything, and this is a make or break moment. This is the moment that we've all been waiting for, the drowning of Kaneki, the circle of tragedy all coming in all together. Right, this is the moment, the rebirth, if you will. For the most part, Kaneki has some very tough choices, as he currently leaves Rize on this shrine, and he himself transcends through this bloodstained water to face his fears, to face his sins, and to potentially try and bear those sins on himself. This evidently could be enough to change Kaneki, the change that we are all kind of hoping for, the quote-unquote ruthless Kaneki, the murderous Kaneki. And obviously I still think this is in the realm of possibility. At this point, looking at the conversation that they have just had, and looking at Kaneki facing his fears, facing his sins, and trying to bear them all completely, maybe we're looking into it a little too much in saying that he's going to be stripped of his emotions, that he's going to encounter something very torturous, and then it's going to break him once more to become ruthless and savage. Maybe that's not it. Maybe, like I've said in previous videos, that he is coming to accept what he was truly meant to be, something that he was always going to be, right? And it's not even a ruthless savage side, it's just a side that he's turned a blind eye to. It's just the morals that he have are obscure. So what if he turns them off? What if he just gets rid of them? What if he starts killing people because he can, because he's powerful enough? No longer would he feel guilt about killing people to benefit himself. No longer would he try and obscure his morals in saying that I have to kill this person because that person hurt my friend. No. That completely goes out the window. I will kill that person because I can, and because I'm powerful enough, and because they're in my way, not because they've hurt my friend. I think Kaneki is slowly coming to accept this fate, something that's completely unavoidable for him, and we are slowly kind of getting to that chapter. I feel like the next chapter will really show us Kaneki bearing all of his sins, trudging through this blood-stained water to come face to face with everything he didn't want to be, with everything he's done but turn a blind eye to. For the most part, this chapter was pretty simplistic, but it was very well needed. The anticipation for Kaneki's rebirth at this point is through the roof, right? I'd expect 2 more chapters at least. Not next chapter, but maybe the chapter after. We could see Kaneki evidently coming out of Dragon for the first time. As usual, I thought this chapter was great, and I am very excited to see how Ishida tailors the story after Kaneki comes out. It's such a big mystery at this point with where the story could go, because literally anything could happen. Now that Hide is back into the picture, now that the CCG is under human control, now that Furuta is AFK and the V organization are doing their own thing, what is truly going to happen? What is Kaneki going to try and do? Is he going to come out and try and obliterate everything from the get-go because he knows he can kill these people now without feeling guilty, without turning a blind eye? These are all questions that I'm super excited to find the answers for, and hopefully in the upcoming chapters we get to see this all unravel. So with that being said, let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Did you like it? Did you hate it? How'd you go? But regardless, I'm actually going to end the video off here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.